Kia ora koutou, ko Danielle taku ingoa. Hi, I'm Danielle and I'm here to talk to you about how to apply for a community grant. So you might have seen our Pūtea Hapori or community grants, which are run by like minds like mine. We're offering up to $10,000 this year for projects that reduce stigma and discrimination specifically against people with mental distress. So I'm here to sort of give you some tips of how you can apply and what we're really looking for in an application this year. So because the grants are run by like minds like mine, they do have to specifically focus on reducing the stigma and discrimination for people with mental distress. So stigma is sort of the way that we think, it's in our thinking, negative thinking towards people with mental distress. And our discrimination is in our doing, so how we judge or exclude or leave people out. So it's really designed to combat that. So the three things that could make your application quite successful in this regard would be number one, would be to focus on how you're going to reduce that. So how will your project specifically reduce stigma and discrimination for people who live with mental distress? So how will you fight judgmental attitudes? How will you fight negative behaviours towards people specifically with mental distress? You can also include other discriminated communities as well. So we really prioritise applications from Māori Pacifica, rainbow communities, refugee and migrants, young people, all sorts of different communities. But the project primarily does have to be against specifically reducing discrimination and stigma against people with mental distress. So the second thing that we're looking for is to use this year's theme. So for the first time ever we have a theme, and it's called Be an Upstander or Tūmaya. So an upstander or Tūmaya is somebody who specifically stands up to challenge stigma and discrimination against people with mental distress. So in your application, think about how you're going to do that. How are you going to challenge these attitudes and these behaviours, the negative behaviours from people who exclude others, and how are you going to address this in your project? How are you going to reach them? How are you going to make sure that you can really change their hearts and minds? And the third thing that we're really looking for is the power of contact. So the power of contact is an academic model. It doesn't have to be too scary, but essentially it means that you're bringing people with mental distress and others without it together in order to change their hearts and minds. So in your project, we'd really like to see how you're going to create an equal atmosphere where everybody can challenge those stereotypes together, how you're going to provide information that challenges those stereotypes, and how you're going to make people work together in that atmosphere to really change how people think and judge and discriminate against people for the better, so that they don't have to put up with it anymore. So how can you apply for this year? So it's very easy. If you're watching on social media right now, you can click the Learn More or Apply Now button at the end of the post. If you're on the website, you're already halfway there, so all we have to do is go to the green button that says Apply Now. So you can go through the application form, which will download, or you can fill out section 2 of the application form by making a video. So we've had some feedback that people would like to describe their project by video, so although you still have to fill out some parts of the application form, you can mostly describe your kaupapa or what your project is really about via your words and your image by using the video. So if you do want to apply, get it in before 5 p.m. on the 30th of April, it's a Thursday, or email us on communitygrants@mentalhealth.org.nz, and best of luck.